because it's not. Okay, is it working now? Oh, okay, yes, awesome. It decided to change my microphone again. How is everyone today? I am good. It's cold today. How has your week been? Mine's been pretty busy. I went and got a haircut this week, and I started shiny hunting Pokemon again. And then, if you haven't seen the news, Pokemon Home just updated last night. And if you have a complete Sword and Shield dex or a complete Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee, you get some shiny legendaries. Because I already had my Sword and Shield dex completed, I got my shiny Keldeo right away. It's not a great shiny, but it's a shiny I'll take. And then for Let's Go is shiny Milton, which is cute. I like Milton. Still working on Blueberry Academy. I am now working on the starters. I am having issues getting middle stages, which I was expecting to happen. But I think I have 50 more I need, so I'm almost done. What else? Oh, that's what else. We're most likely not going to finish Walt's Good Ending this stream. But because Valentine's is this week, we'll do another stream Friday and finish his good ending. Or at least try to. I don't know if we'll get that all the way done. But we finished Alice just in time to have a nice Valentine's-like game. So expect a stream on Friday around the same time as normal. But I think that was all we needed to talk about before we start. So we'll just jump right in. Actually, I wanted to change settings really quick. Okay, that's disabled. I was looking at... Do we want sound on? Well, you guys can have sound on. Now that we have a game that I don't have to specifically listen to, I don't need to wear headphones. I don't need to listen to it. But we were looking to make sure this is disabled so we can get the achievement. I don't remember what achievements we have. But the goal is to 100% this game. I think we can just start from here, this is the first choice. Okay. Let's go back a little bit. Oh yes, this is what was happening. So, Walt invited us to be his assistant in the puppet show as a way to hopefully have us see good deeds so we can break our own curse. Is his goal, instead of helping us like try to find good deeds. Okay. Hello everyone. An excited silence falls over the area as Walt's voice rises above the crowd. I, Walt, am here once again to share another story with you. I hope you enjoy the show. Once upon a time, there was a village whose people were always happy. But one day, an evil witch found the village. The evil witch carried darkness deep in her heart. She was jealous of the townsfolk, who were filled with so much light and happiness. If I cannot be happy, the evil witch said, then no one can be happy. How overly dramatic. I almost jump when I feel a tug on my dress. I look down to see a little boy pulling at the hem of my skirt, though his eyes remain focused on the puppets. I don't like her. That witch, she's bad. His grip on my skirt tightens. He's wrinkling my dress. And we need to remove his hand. I reach down to pry the boy's hand off my skirt, but the boy moves faster than me. The moment I pull his hand away, he quickly refastens his grip, this time around my hand. Hey! The boy does not move his hand. In fact, his hold only tightens, so much so that I find it impossible to pull my hand away. Kids have some insane strength. Like, it seems like their muscles just are so much, it just don't have like a limit to them, so they seem much faster than us. Their grip is much stronger. Are you gonna go under the blankets or not? It's cold. This cat. It snowed a lot last night. There's no way I can make him let go without causing a scene. Now, I am going to be stuck holding the hand of a little boy I do not know until the end of the show. How did this happen? Darkness spread over the village. The people begin to suffer. They forget what happiness felt like. One villager decided to leave and find a good witch that would help save everyone from the evil witch. This villager knew it would be dangerous, for if he were discovered, the evil witch would certainly kill him and his family. But the man knew he had to try, even if he ever wanted to see the other villagers smile again. Many days later, the man finally returned with a good witch whose heart was as filled with light as the evil witch's was filled with darkness. The good witch, upon unable to bear the sight of the villagers' suffering, decided to help them. She cast a powerful spell that would send the evil witch away and save the village, at the cost of her own life. Once the spell was cast, the darkness disappeared from the village. To this day, the people of the village are said to carry the good witch's light within them, and everyone lived happily ever after. But aren't all witches evil? That's simply not true. I've met a good witch, one with a heart more light and loving than any fairies. More of the children begin to ask questions. I sigh, unable to do anything except wait while Walt is bombarded with questions. Thank you. The boy that took my hand gives it one last squeeze before running off to join his friends. What did he thank me for? Once the audience finally leaves, Walt comes out from behind the booth and smiles up at me. The show was a success. Princess, there was a boy. He thanked me even though I did nothing for him. The little boy who was with you? Did you do something? You held his hand. I did not want to. I realized that when I saw the annoyed look on your face. It would have been good for you to do it if you meant to calm him down. What? The boy was really frightened by the evil witch in the show. He thanked you because you held his hand and stayed with him when he was scared. Sometimes just having someone beside you when you're afraid is enough. Having someone beside you? I think back to all the times I felt scared. Mother always told me to hide my fear and to never cry because it would make me appear weak. I could never ask for her help, and the king was never there for me. Every time I was afraid, I was always alone. I shake off the memories and realize that Walt is asking me a question. What did you think of the show? It was short and simple. That's it? I mean, it was short and simple. The story ended in... couldn't have been longer than like 5 minutes, so... And it's a story for kids, so it has to be short and simple. They have short attention spans. I created the entire show, you know, story, characters, and everything. It could have been better. You wound me. I have nothing more to say, and Walt seems disheartened by my silence. You always complimented my stories, even when they were silly. Walt's telling me stories? I do not recall such a thing. He makes it sound as if we've known each other for a long time. Before I can ask him for clarification, he changes the topic. Do you mind accompanying me to the toy shop before we head back? Do I have a choice? Walt's lips quirk with a smile as he picks up his material. You might have fun, princess. Come on. This is the shop I went to before I was cursed. Feel free to look around, princess. I won't be too long. I nod at him before walking over to the doll display. The dolls here are actually beautiful, but with the gold I have left, I wouldn't be able to even afford one. I miss my dolls. Papa, I want this one. The sound of a little girl's voice draws my attention. I look around the store before spotting a little girl pointing at a big teddy bear. She looks expectantly at the man beside her. That must be her father. The man shakes his head, his eyes filled with regret. We can't afford that one. We can't afford that one, dear. Could you choose something else? The girl looks like she's on the verge of bawling. I back away, fearing that the child might throw a tantrum. Instead, she rubs at her eyes before looking at her father with a slow smile. I understand. The man smiles and pats her head. Thank you for your understanding, sweetheart. You're being so grown up. I only need you and Mama to be happy. I love you, Papa. I love you too. The king had never once told me he loved me. He must be better off without me. Do I even belong in the palace anymore? Papa, look, the king! The moment I hear her say his title, I quickly rush from the toy shop. Hail the king! Long live the king! Hail King Gennaro! He's the first I see, mounted on his favorite white stallion as he waves at everyone. I spot Ophelia, Rod, and Emily with him mimicking his motions. The king used to invite me to join him before, but I always declined. He always went out alone. Once a month, the king set out to check on the conditions of the kingdom in person. It was his way of bonding with the townsfolk. I mean, once a month is not often, but at least he's getting out to see how everything's going. Where, like, most people in power are like, I'll just take the stats of whatever someone tells me and that must be the truth. I won't go do my own research to make sure this is real. So he is a generous king, or as generous as he can be. One of the Order of Caldera trails behind the royal family with Sir Alacaster at the head, but there is one particular person that is missing. It's strange that Fritz isn't here. The parade is an impressive sight. The crowds lining the streets become denser with each passing second. I weave around the mass of people in an attempt to get closer to the king. Thank you, everyone. He is smiling, a true smile. I have never seen him smile like that at me. A heaviness begins to weigh down my heart. Suddenly, it's become harder to breathe. Please look this way. Please look at me. The king is looking happier these days, isn't he? I don't think I've ever seen him so joyful. It must be his family. Happier. All I want is for the king to look at me, to see me, but he does not so much as glance my way once. I stare at the ground with bleary eyes. He's happy without me. I return to the toy shop with a heavy heart. The little girl from earlier is standing with her father by the door. He ruffles her hair before holding his hand out to her with a smile. She takes it with a giggle and the two walk off together. A hot ache sings through my blood as I watch them leave. Is this jealousy? I reach up and clutch my chest. My heartbeat feels painful. This is a terrible feeling. Princess? Lucetta? I stare at Walt, temporarily stunned by the fact he's called me by my name and not my title. Are you okay? Despite myself, I find my eyes drawn back to the little girl and her father as they stand just outside the door of the toy shop. Princess? I need to choose. I am fine. You don't look fine to me at all. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the little girl and her father as they disappear into the crowd outside the toy shop. I am. You still act tough even though you're hurting inside. I am not. Here. A handkerchief? A plain handkerchief, if that's what it was. What is this for? In case you suddenly feel like crying. I'm not going to cry. I am not that weak. Walt frowns when I do not take the handkerchief from him. He puts it in the back of his pocket with a shake of his head. Crying doesn't make you weak, princess. Walt's gaze moves to the set of teddy bears displayed on one of the shelves. He's quiet for a few moments before he speaks. He's affected by the curse. What? The king. He can't remember you because of the curse. That doesn't mean he never cared about you. That's the reason you look so down, right? I was looking outside. I saw the way you looked at him. Doesn't he know that it's rude to stare? Double standards. You were staring at the king wanting him to look at you, so shut up. Oh, and how did I look? Hurt? I turn away before Walt can see the frustration on my face. He loves you, you know, more than you'll ever know. And how would you know that? You don't know him at all. Everyone has their own ways of expressing their love. I'm sure he has his own ways. By not being there when I needed him, he has never acted like a father to me, princess. Don't pretend you know what my life at the palace was like, Waltz. This conversation is over. Let's return to the margin. Look at what I drew. Lucetta, you know it's not... Lucetta, you know you're not meant to be in here. But I drew this picture of us. See? This is Mother and me. And you are holding Mother's hand. Go play somewhere else, Lucetta. I'm busy. But you're always busy, Father. I just wanted to go to your mother. I'm sure she's looking for you. Okay. I am vaguely aware of moonlight in my room when I sit up in my bed, heart beating painfully fast. What was I dreaming about? It felt like I was dreaming about the king, but why now? A few days have already passed since I last saw him. I fall back onto the bed. I close my eyes and once again attempt to sleep, but it hovers stubbornly out of my reach. What was that? Who could be making that noise at this time of night? I step out of bed and head outside to investigate. There's no one here. The sound is coming from the tavern? We need to check. I slowly turn the knob and open the door. Hello? The broom begins to hop towards me. I begin to back away. It's the middle of the night. There's no way I'm going to sweep now. But the broom just hops past to cower behind me. That's some broom you got there. Oops. Walt, what are you doing here? I couldn't sleep, so I decided to continue working on one of my puppets. But I accidentally stepped on the broom and it went berserk. I turn around and grab Mr. Broom, leaning it against its designated spot on the wall. But why are you here? I heard a sound. As curious as always. That's going to get you in trouble, you know. I mean, I understand the saying of curiosity killed the cat, but like, if you were never curious, we wouldn't have so many things we have now. So like, you should be curious but cautious is a better saying, I think. I don't need to be lectured by you. I apologize for waking you up. You should go back to sleep. I would not be here if I could sleep. I might as well stay for a while. If that's what you want. Walt turns back to his puppets on the table. He leans down over the puppets, checking their seams. Since you're here, I think you can help me. Help you? I mean, I said this last time. It is such an ugly puppet. But I mean, it's a hand puppet. There's only so much a hand puppet you can do before they all kind of look stupid. Except, I mean, even humanoid looking puppets look kind of dumb. What do you think of my newest puppet? I look at Walt with surprise. With his eyes so wide and his lower lip jutting out, he almost looks like a puppy begging for a treat. Is he expecting a compliment on the puppet? Well, I look closely at the puppet's eyes. It looks evil. Really? I'm glad to hear that. It's going to be the villain in my next show. Thank you for the help, Princess. I'm glad that my mentor approves. Mentor. Waltz doesn't answer. That's it? Indeed. I only offered an opinion and he looks so happy. What a weird person. Walt resumes his sewing in silence. He's very talented to be able to sew such a complicated animal. He has probably been doing this for a long time to be so skilled. Possibly even longer than I expect, considering the nature of his curse. You look like you've got something on your mind, Princess. Well, you have never actually told me how to break your curse. I guess I haven't. Walt clears his throat as he goes back to his sewing. I need to find Tinkerbell and Neverland. Oh, right, you don't know the story. Mother burned all the fairy tale books in the palace before I could read most of them, and nobody would tell me any of the stories. Mother always forbid me from talking about them. Peter Pan is the story of a boy who never grows up. He's accompanied by a fairy friend named Tinkerbell, and the two of them lived together in Neverland. In my case, Tinkerbell is a key that can open Neverland. Neverland is a box, a family heirloom. My shadow is being kept in Neverland. That shadow is my magic. Once I get it back, my curse will be broken. Magic? I'm a witch, Princess. He says it so nonchalantly, like stating what his job is. I mean, considering he's a witch, it probably is his job. He and Delora are the same. I've seen Walt conjure flowers from thin air before, but I never associated that with the type of magic that witches do. You're a witch? A cursed witch? How is that possible? Only the Tenebrium Bearer has the ability to curse another witch. It's why I can only do simple magic nowadays. If I ever wanted to cast proper spells again, I'm going to need to find Tinkerbell and Neverland. You don't know where Tinkerbell and Neverland are? No, I don't. I think I said this last time. Like, it's a dumb question to ask. If I knew where Tinkerbell and Neverland are, I wouldn't be here sitting in the tavern. I would go out and, get it so I could break my curse. It's not like Rod's curse where to break his curse he had to destroy a happy relationship or kill the person. Like, obviously he's not gonna do either of those, where Waltz was like, I just need to find this box and open it and my curse is broken. If I knew where it was, I would have done it already. Lucetta has some of the dumbest questions sometimes. Does that mean you're stuck in this form forever? How about a story? I feel annoyance begin to simmer inside of me. Why do you do that? You change the subject to purposefully avoid answering me. No, that's not it, princess. I'm trying to explain, and I think a story is the best way for me to do that. I am silent as Walt reaches into his box of puppets. He pulls out 2 of them, then motions for me to sit in front of him. He holds out a puppet to me, and I can tell he intends for me to wear it on my hand. My feelings on the subject must show on my face, but Walt is resolute. Please? I do not know what this will achieve, but maybe this way I'll finally get some answers. Fine. Walt takes a deep breath. Once upon a time, there lived a princess who was always alone. She spent most of her time inside her room with her, as her mother, the queen, forbid her from going out. The princess's only companion were her dolls, but the princess so badly wanted friends that she would always sneak out of the palace to play with the children who lived in town. It's as if he's narrating my childhood. But Walt continues speaking as if he did not hear me. One day, the princess met a boy. The boy was a few years older than her, and he was the queen's faithful servant. The boy could see how lonely the princess was, and his heart ached for her. They became friends. Every day, he would sneak into her room and would play with her. They spent 2 years like that, until the queen found out. It's insane that it lasted 2 years before the queen ever found out. With how, much the queen, hovered over Lucetta, it is surprising it lasted 2 years at all. At most, it shouldn't have lasted more than, a month. The boy was sent away, and he never saw the princess again, until a short while ago. I stumbled back, and the puppet slides off my hand as I stare at Waltz, my mind whirling. We've known each other for a long time, princess. That cannot be true. Waltz looks at me again, his expression full of melancholy. I always see that look. He wears it when he is happy. He seems to carry that sadness with him wherever he goes. We were friends. I never had any friends I would have remembered. That's what you remember. Your memories have holes in them. gasps that you can't explain. How do you know that? Because I was there when the Queen ordered that some of your memories be erased. Mother? But why? I don't believe you. I don't believe any of this. I didn't expect you to believe me. Why is he looking at me like that? He looks like he's in pain, but he cannot be telling the truth. I stand up straight, my hands clenched into fists. I'm going back to my room. I almost run from the tavern area. Walt does not try to follow me. Walt's words loop persistently in my mind. We were friends. I sit on one of the chairs in the reception area trying to put my thoughts in order. There's no way that he was my friend. Oh, what is this? What a delight to run into the princess at this hour, though I must ask, why are you still awake, darling? I jump at the sound of Karma's voice. I turn to look at him. Karma frowns at the expression on my face. You look like you've seen a ghost. I can only stare at him in response. Oh my, is my beauty so captivating you find yourself at a loss for words? No, I was just thinking about how beautiful I am. His ego knows no bounds. I roll my eyes and change the subject. What are you doing up this late? A nighttime stroll? I find myself filled with ennui? Right, well, I will go and retire for the night now. Have a good sleep. It'll be another long day tomorrow. You do not have to remind me. You still have a ways to go before you get used to the commoner's lifestyle. I certainly struggled with it. Karma barely works. I've only seen him slack off. But wait, are you a noble Karma? Perhaps. This is going nowhere. This tavern is full of secretive people. I wonder if this lifestyle has anything to do with his curse. Well, I am not planning to get used to the commoner lifestyle. I will break my curse as soon as possible. Seems like we both have a long way to go before that happens, princess. We don't want to play with you anymore. But why? We are friends, are we not? Friends? Who said that? You did? We were friends until you stopped sharing your toys, but that is because you still haven't... What? You haven't returned the toys I gave you. Return them? You gave them to us. No, I did not. Let's go play with our real friends. Yeah, our real friends aren't selfish. I warned you, dearest one. Didn't I tell you? People will only hurt you in the end. That's why I forbade you from playing with those children. I only ever want what's best for you. I'm so sorry, Mother. I'm so sorry. Hush now, dearest one. Mother won't let anything happen to you anymore. Chapter 4. Family. 3 weeks have passed since my encounter with the king. I am once again in town with Walt as he prepares for one of his shows. I have already lost count of how many of his shows I've watched at this point. The excursion has become part of my daily routine. Walt has been insistent on trading me as his assistant, so I have decided to play along. Even now, I am helping him construct his booth, though he refuses to let me carry anything too heavy. I have experienced so many new things these past few months, things I've always wanted to experience, but I've never told anyone about it. Somehow, Waltz knew about all of them, even when he told me that we were childhood friends and insisted that my memories of him have been erased. I hadn't believed him, but now I am beginning to believe that he is telling the truth about this forgotten friendship. Walt smiles at me from where he is assembling the front of the booth. You used to dream about getting out of the palace to see Angelia. And now you're here. You can't imagine how happy I am. I can finally fulfill all of the promises I made to you. I still have reservations about believing your story, but Walt, even if you did know me a long time ago, I am not the same. I hand him the small curtain of the booth. My head dips so that I do not have to look him in the eye. I am not the child you used to know. I know that. But I also believe that the girl I knew all those years ago, the one who was always so happy over the smallest things, that kind, sincere girl, she's still you. How can that be when I don't think I've ever truly known what happiness feels like? After Walt hangs the curtains, the booth is complete. I expect him to step out from the side as he always does, but he sets his palms down on the table instead and looks at me. When I saw you again that day, I was so happy. I thought fate had brought you back to me. Walt's voice is very soft when he speaks. But then you still didn't recognize me. Walt's voice trails off, and I frown. There are still so many things he's not telling me. Eventually, Walt picks up his box of puppets and smiles at me brightly. Anyway, I've got a show to perform. Don't go anywhere. I notice that his smile does not reach his eyes as I watch him walk away. I look out at the crowd that have gathered for the show. There's a lot of families here today. I watch as two families approach each other. The adults begin to converse with each other while the kids run up to the front of the crowd to catch a better glimpse of the show. Some of the children have shoes, but the parents are barefoot. All of their clothes are dirty and torn. Their lives are clearly hard, but they are still smiling. I have never been in desperate need of clothes or food. I've never had to work for anything. I should have been happier than those people when I was the princess, but now I am beginning to see that the material things that were never enough to buy me true happiness. Hello, everyone. I take a step to the side as Walt begins his show. Walt weaves his story as seamlessly as he always does, captivating his audience with every word, but I am not paying attention. My focus is locked on the two families standing near me. When I see these people, I cannot help but wonder, what kind of life have I been leading? Walt's show was a success yet again. He is smiling from ear to ear as he counts the coins he had earned as a reward for his good performance. You look happier than usual. I am. I've been saving money for a special toy, and now I can finally buy it. He says he does not like to be treated like a child, but he gets so excited when he mentions a new toy. Which is just a silly thing to say. Like, everyone gets excited about whatever they like. Walt likes puppets and toys. Obviously, he's gonna be excited for a new toy. If you were into model trains, you would get excited to get a new train set. And she can't even talk. She likes to collect dolls. Dolls are toys too. I pause at the sound of laughter and look up to see a group of children talking excitedly to each other as they approach Walt and I. This might be an opportunity. Making these children happy might be a good deed. What? Walt ignores me as he jogs up to the children. Waltz! The group of children swarm him, talking loudly as they each try to cling to him in some manner. We've been waiting forever for you to come back. But I was here a couple of days ago. But you didn't have time to play. Can we play now? Please, please, please. We've been good just like you told us. The boy looks around at the group of children and they all nod their heads with eager agreement. Well, if you've been as good as you say, how could I say no? The children cheer. I'm going to start counting now. Come on. You won't find us this time. The children disperse around the area. I watch them go with disinterest. That's your cute hide, princess. What? Why do I need to take part in this? You don't want to play? But we used to play hide and seek all the time. I am fairly certain I have never played a game like this with anyone before. Is this another memory that was taken from me? Big sis, play with us. The little girl runs up to me and begins to pull me along with her. Hey! I look at Walt, but he only smiles at me. It seems like I don't really have a choice. Walt turns to face a wall. He covers his eyes and begins to count. Before I can react, the little girl lets go of me and is running off. What is going on? I turn and see a boy hide behind a barrel. You have to hide before you finish counting. They don't even explain the rules of this game. How am I supposed to know what to do? I look around me to find places that I might hide. Maybe behind the tree, behind the fountain would also work. Or those wooden crates. Which of these places should I hide in? We need to pick behind the wooden crates. Ready or not, here I come. I cannot believe I am sitting on the dirt to avoid being seen. My dress is getting soiled because of a child's game. Found you. My heart begins to race as I look at him, but I realize that Walt has found one of the children. Oh, it wasn't me. Wait, why am I worrying about being found? Got you. Every so often I hear Walt proclaim that he found someone, but he still hasn't found me. Do I get something if I win this game? You still haven't found Big Sister yet. You're right, where could she be hiding? This is quickly becoming boring. Found you. I jump when I hear Walt's voice behind me. He looks down at me with triumph. You won, princess. I won? Looks like you're an expert at this game. I'm not. You just did not look hard enough. That doesn't change the fact that you still won the game. You should be happy. Great job, princess. Walt pats me on the back and smiles once again before he turns his attention back to the children. He is right. His praise makes me feel strangely happy. Why? Right, everyone, that's it. The children begin to whine, clearly disappointed. We only played one round. Now don't be like that. I promise to play another game with everyone soon. Now run along. I'm sure your parents are looking for all of you. One of the children, a little girl, tugs on my sleeve. Thank you for playing with us, Big Sister. Please come again. She smiles up at me before skipping away to joining the rest of the children. All the children head off together back towards the residential area of the town. They like you. How do you know that? Didn't you see how happy they were that you joined in? Children are so easy to please. That's why I envy them. Adults aren't like children. They worry too much and don't appreciate the small joys in life. As we grew up, we forget how to be happy. Forget how to be happy? Walt may be right about that. When I was younger, my dolls brought me so much joy, but now... Anyway, since you won, you deserve a treat. Treat? You'll like it, I promise. I sit on a wooden bench waiting for Walt to return. He said it would be easier for him to go alone because he wanted to surprise me. I did not protest. I have been on my feet all day. I have never thought I would be running around playing with children. I wonder what this treat is going to be. Every time we come to the plaza, it's always packed with people. Most of the popular shops are clustered in this area. I observe the town quietly before my eyes land on the statue of the king. He looks noble, riding a rearing stallion. The sight makes my heart twist uncomfortably. I am pulled out of my thoughts when a child trips and falls in front of me and he begins to cry. Should I do something? Before I can react, man and woman are there pulling the child up. The man takes the child in his arms as the woman rubs his back. There, my love. Mama and Papa are here now. I watch as they slowly walk away, the mother still crooning to her child. Mother would always get angry at me if I was about to cry. I wonder what it's like to be comforted like that. Sorry to keep you waiting. Are you okay? I keep the family in sight for as long as I can before turning to Waltz. I am fine. Here. What is this? A candied apple. A long time ago, I promised that I would bring you one, but I wasn't able to keep that promise. That's why I'm fulfilling it now. I do not recall such a promise. I twirl the candy, inspecting its glazed and shiny appearance. I don't know you can make an apple look like this. I promise there's no poison apple here. These ones are just sweet. I sniff at the candy. Sweet. I take a small nibble. Well, I become so immersed in my taste test that I do not even hear Waltz. The candied apple tastes like nothing I've ever tried before. This is good. I take another bigger bite. Is that a smile I see, Princess? What? I wasn't smiling at all, was I? When I get some extra money for my shows, I'll make sure to treat you again. I have lots of favorites to show you. There are more desserts like this? Of course, I'll make sure you try them all. Walt stands, then moves over to a trash bin so that he can dispose of his finished apple. It's getting late, let's go back to the margin. The next few weeks become a blur. I continue to help out in the tavern, will sometimes accompany Waltz for his show. Though Waltz continues his lessons on goodness, I have yet to gain a single good deed. I am slowly starting to lose hope. It has been months since I was cursed, and still have yet to complete a single good deed. Today, I have been assigned the task of serving marching customers. I honestly prefer my duties with Mr. Broom. At least I do not have to mingle with these people. I have only just entered the tavern when I freeze at the sight of a familiar face. Fritz? His posture is stiff, his arms are crossed, and he is obviously uncomfortable. What is he doing here? How did he get in here? I walk towards him, but do not get far before he is in front of me, down on one knee with his head bowed. I finally found you, Your Highness. How does he remember me? How did he find me? Fritz. Princess, I have no idea what's happening, but the whole kingdom. Everyone has completely forgotten you, and let us go somewhere else to talk. I interrupt Fritz when I notice all the stares around the room. Not so fast. Seemingly out of nowhere, Durin and Garland are in front of me, separating me from Fritz. Lady Durin? Sir Garland? I was told you left Angelia. What are you two doing here? I could ask you the same, Sir Fritz and Gerald. What are you doing here? Fritz is at a loss for words as he stares at Durin, confused. Answer the question, Sir Fritz and Gerald. What are you doing here? I'm quickly reaching the end of my patience. Just let me talk to him. Neither Durin nor Garland back down. If anything, they only look more ready to draw their swords. I don't trust them. As I look at the three of them, I remember the story of Durin and Garland's dismissal of the Order of Caldera. Sir Alacaster was the one that dismissed them, so perhaps they hold some type of grudge. Is it because Fritz is Sir Alacaster's son? I do not know why you do not trust Sir Alacaster, but Fritz is a completely different person. He is my knight. He would never harm me. We have our reasons for doing this, Princess. I sigh, rubbing my forehead with my hand to try and dispel an impending headache. I swear you lot are like a bed of snakes. Stop hissing at each other. Delora walks in from behind me, swatting at Durin and Garland to move them. She smiles at Fritz before turning to beam the same smile at Durin and Garland. If you are so concerned, then feel free to chaperone the princess with her knight. I'm sure the two of you can handle it if he tries something funny. Fritz's voice is quiet when he speaks. You know I would never hurt her. Fine. I glare at Durin and Garland as we are in the reception room. Thankfully, they take the hint and retreat to the opposite wall, far enough to give Fritz and I some privacy. Fritz speaks as soon as I sink into a chair. I haven't seen you in 4 months, princess. It's been that long already. Did you know how worried I was when I woke up one day and realized that Prince Emily was in your place? To make things worse, no one remembers you, not even the king. When I brought up crowned Princess Lucetta, everyone thought I was delusional. Where do I even begin? I decide to start with the facts of my curse and how I meant to break it. So you have the Cinderella curse, and that's the reason you've remained in the margin? Yes. And you need to complete 3 good deeds to break it. That is right. And how many good deeds have you accomplished, if you don't mind me asking? I frown as I shake my head. None. I do not think I'm capable of doing good. Of course you are. I look up in surprise at Fritz's impassioned declaration. Let me start with this. I knew even when we first met that I was not what you were expecting. I wouldn't be surprised to know that I even disappointed you. But you never said a word of complaint, even in the beginning when I made lots of mistakes, and we both know how clumsy I was in the beginning. There is kindness in you, princess. I know this for a fact. Even when I look away, I can still feel Fritz's eyes and smile directed at me. Anyway, so if everyone has forgotten who you are, how is it that I can still remember you? There is only one reason that makes any sense, though it brings more questions than answers. Those who have the fairy tale curse are not affected by the conditions of another person's curse. Wait, are you saying that I am cursed? Unless you are secretly a witch or a fairy. No, I'm definitely human, I can assure you of that. What about Lady Durin and Sir Garland? Durin speaks up from her corner of the room. Though the knights have been feigning disinterest, there is no doubt they are listening in on our conversation. We aren't cursed, so unfortunately we don't remember Princess Lucetta being, crowned princess. We only found out when she came here. I see. Fritz's distress is apparent as he looks grimly down at the floor. He hasn't admitted to having the curse, which means that he either does not know he has it or refuses to tell me. I cannot believe this. How could I have the fairy tale curse and not know about it? There have been no differences in your lifestyle lately? I suppose I've been more forgetful lately. Does that count? You've always been forgetful. I know. Fritz's posture stiffens as Durin walks towards us from the other end of the room. Her arms are crossed and her gaze directed at Fritz is filled with suspicion. How were you able to find this place? Fritz looks back at me as asking permission, and I nod. I've been dispatching scouts throughout Angelia to look for the princess ever since she disappeared. A girl matching her description was seen in this area entering this house. When my scouts entered this place, they found it empty and abandoned. I figured that this was as good a place as any to start looking for traces of her. Though I was expecting an empty house, not a tavern full of people. Only those with the curse or certain permitted people such as Durin and myself can enter this place and see it for what it is. So I really am cursed, then. Fritz is silent for a moment as he considers what was just said to him. That does explain things, though not as much as I'd like. Fritz stands. I still have many questions to ask, but I am expected back at the palace. Fritz turns to look at Durin and Garland. I don't know why the two of you are here, but I'm glad that you are. I know I can trust you to keep the princess safe. Please take care of her. You don't need to tell us twice. Fritz smiles in reply before turning once more to bow to me. I do like how the tavern is getting more detail here. Because before it just seemed like the tavern was just another tavern, not like an abandoned house with a magic door for only certain people to be able to actually enter the tavern. Otherwise, you just get an abandoned house. Until we see each other again, princess. I was also kind of hoping to get further along in this playthrough, but I think once we finish chapter 4, we're calling it for the day. I'm tired for some reason. I'm so tired. A week goes by after Fritz leaves the tavern, and my luck does not change. I am still unable to complete a single good deed. I want to ask Parfait if she knows anything about Fritz and his curse, but she's been absent from the tavern for more than a week. When I asked Delora why Parfait was missing, all the witch said was that Parfait was busy dealing with the rapid spread of the fairy tale curse. Today, I am accompanying Walt to the toy shop to buy material for his upcoming show. But now I cannot find him. He was by these shelves earlier. Where has he gone? I turn a corner and my gaze is caught once more by the dolls on display. One particular doll catches my eye, and I cannot help but marvel at its beauty. If only I had enough money to buy you. I notice a man standing just to the right in front of the teddy bear display case. Isn't that the father I saw with his daughter a few weeks ago? He's looking at the teddy bear that his daughter wanted, the one he did not have enough money to buy. I watch as he opens one of his clenched hands. There are some gold coins on his palm. I glimpse the price tag of the teddy bear earlier, and I am certain that the man does not have enough money to afford the one he is eyeing. Thought I've had saved enough by now. Now, what do I do for her birthday? The man heads for the next shelf over. He raises the hand to rub at the back of his neck. I walk over and pick up the bear the man was just looking at. It's very soft and somehow comforting to hold. I can see why the girl liked this one. I began to move towards the counter without even realizing. I hold the teddy bear in to me with one hand and reach for the bag of coins in my other. The king gave me this money all those months ago, but I never used it. If I buy this bear, I will be completely broke. Miss, could you wrap this for me? Of course. After she finished wrapping the bear, I turned to search for the father. It seems he is no longer in the shop. Has he left? Wow, that's a big toy you got there. Walt appears with a bright smile on his face. He leans forward to inspect the package I am holding. I need to find him. Who? I am sure he hadn't gone too far yet. Hey, wait. Where is he? Princess, where are you going? We need to explain this time. There's someone I need to find. Did you happen to see the man eyeing the large teddy bear earlier? I think I caught a glimpse of him. Why? We need to find that man. I must give this to him. I am about to run off into the crowd when I feel Walt's hand on my sleeve. I turn to snap impatiently at him, but find my annoyance dying at the expression on his face. Look, I'm not entirely sure of what is happening, but I'll help you. But you have to stay with me. We shouldn't be separated in this crowd. Fine. Walt keeps his pace with me as I almost break into a run. It would be difficult to find that man with all these people around, but we should try at least. Walt and I search for hours, but we never find him. I do not even know his name. We can try again tomorrow. It's going to be dark soon, but it's her birthday. Who? I ignore Waltz. In the brief second that I close my eyes, I can see the man's pained expression in my mind. I sit down on a bench and clench the wrapped bear to my chest. He wanted to buy this bear for his daughter's birthday because he loved her. A familiar ache flares up in my chest. I have spent my whole life wanting the king to treat me the same way that man treats his daughter. Lucetta, I promise you will look again first thing in the morning. Walt and I head back to the march-in, but the weight is in my chest slows me down. It's not like you to be this sad for a stranger. You've changed, have I? Welcome home, Papa. The girl's voice is familiar. I whirl on my heels and stare at the little girl in the doorway of one of the homes. I had thought we were too late, but we found them. The little girl runs from her home to wrap her arms around her father, who picks her up and pulls her into a tight hug. I'm sorry I'm late, sweetheart, but you're here now. Mama, Papa is here. We can start my birthday party now. The girl wiggles out of her father's embrace and runs back into the house excitedly. The man is carrying a small box in his hand, wrapped neatly with a ribbon. He looks down at the gift and says, before he can go inside the house, I walk towards him and tap him on his shoulder. Excuse me. You were in the toy shop earlier. I was. We have been looking everywhere for you. For me? He looks first at me and then at the package I am carrying in my arms. Can I help you with something, miss? I heard that it was your daughter's birthday today. She's turning 7 today, but why? Here. This is for your daughter. This is the toy you wanted to buy for her. Take it. No, I can't possibly just take it. The man seems to be in too much shock to reach out for the teddy bear. He shakes his head in wonder. You don't even know who we are. Why would you do something like this? I've been asking myself that all day. You love your daughter very much, don't you? She is my life, she and my wife. But I cannot pay you for this. Papa, why are you taking so long? The girl is suddenly at the door again, her wide eyes staring right at me. Who are you? The little girl clings to her father's leg. She looks curious, but not afraid. I do not know what to say. This pretty lady here is your fairy godmother, little one. I turn to glare at Waltz. What is he playing at? Fairy godmother, like the one in Cinderella? Yes. I shoot Waltz another warning look, but he only grins at me. She's come to fulfill your birthday wish. Isn't that right, my lady? We need to play along this time. It's her birthday, I might as well play along. Yes, I am. Really? Walt nudges me towards the little girl. I glare at him before I kneel down and hold the wrapped teddy bear out to her. What does Walt usually say to children when he gives them the gifts? Oh, you have been a very good girl. This is for you. The girl reaches out and takes the bear, her eyes lit up as she stares at it. Is this the teddy bear? I nod and the little girl squeals, twirling around with the wrapped teddy bear tight in her arms. Then suddenly she puts the bear down and throws her arms around my neck. Thank you for granting my wish, Miss Fairy Godmother. I am too shocked to react. Mama, look what my fairy godmother brought me. I can only stare as the little girl runs back into her house with the gift. Thank you. I glance at the man who, much to my surprise, has tears rolling down his cheeks. He is still somehow smiling through them. I will never forget your kindness. He dips into a short bow, then disappears into his home. This is a piece of the glass slipper, your first good deed. I stare in disbelief at the hovering piece in my hand. One moment it was there, the next it has been swallowed by a bright light, and it joined with my pendant. I cannot believe it. Waltz, look. But Waltz is not looking at my new pendant. He's looking at my face, his gaze enraptured. What are you looking at? You just smiled. I did? It was as beautiful as I remember. I feel slightly embarrassed and have no words as I quickly turn my head away. I'm glad that you decided to play along with my story. You made her birthday extra special by making her believe that you were her own fairy godmother. That no matter how tough things are, every child has someone watching over them as long as they're good. My eyes are still on the slipper when I hear an unfamiliar voice behind us. Cinderella's slipper, huh? We both turn around to stare at a man standing a few feet from us. Excuse me. He is cloaked in darkness, but I can still make out his grin. Hello, princess. Chapter 5, To Protect. And we are going to call it here. I am falling asleep over here, actually. I am so tired for some reason. I was actually hoping to get further than chapter 5, so we had a higher chance to finish Friday. So we might do another stream later today, but that's a big might. We'll see how the day plays out. But yeah, if I do stream, we'll try to do another 2 chapters, so then we just have the last I guess the last 4 chapters. We might do, if we do stream again tonight, we'll do at least 2 more chapters, maybe 3. But like I said, it's a big might if I stream again, but I am, for some reason, really tired. So I hope you all have a good rest of your day. If I see you later today, cool. If not, I will see you all Friday around the same time I normally stream. Bye.